1400 years ago, the Prophet ﷺ taught us a dua that is a psychological miracle, and I want to show you why from a neuropsychological perspective. First, what is this dua? The Prophet ﷺ taught us a dua that is a reliever of anxiety. The Prophet ﷺ, he tells us, never is a servant struck by worry or grief, but let him say, and then he tells us the dua to say it, and then after he tells us the dua, which I'm going to share with you in a little bit, after he tells us the dua, he says, then Allah will expel every worry and replace his grief with joy. This dua is the reliever of anxiety. It's the reliever of grief. It's the reliever of burden. It's the reliever of internal heaviness. What is this dua? And why is it a psychological miracle? The Prophet ﷺ, he tells us to say, "O Allah, I am your servant, the son of your servant, the son of your female servant. My forelock is in your hand. Your decision over me has passed, and your decree upon me is justice. I ask you by every name with which you have named yourself, or revealed in your book, or taught to one of your creations, or kept hidden in the unseen with you, that you make the Quran the spring of my heart, the light of my chest, the banisher of my depression, and the reliever or the expeller of my anxiety." This hadith was one of the signs that really supported the development of my heart over mind and ego method. If you're familiar with the heart over mind and ego method, it offers you an Islamic psychological and psycho-spiritual model of your inner world, what I define as your psycho-spiritual system. Within the system, you have your mind, you have your heart, you have your nafs, your lower self, and you have these functions, your emotions, your cognition, your behaviors. And so this hadith was actually one of the signs that solidified why the heart needs to be the lead, why the heart should be the center of our inner world. In this dua, we are taught to say a powerful statement that's linked to psychological power. The statement is, "My forelock is in your hand. Nasiyati biyadik." What is this forelock area, this frontal part of the brain? It is the prefrontal cortex. This dua is directly addressing the neural pathways of worry that is centered in the prefrontal cortex, this forelock area. This is 1400 years ago. The Prophet ﷺ didn't know about the prefrontal cortex and how it is the part of the brain that we use to plan and overthink and decision making and high abstract thinking. It is the part of the brain that if you don't learn to put it in its place, it will contribute to greater anxiety for you. This surrender that this dua teaches us to do, it shifts the burden of anxiety from the brain's control center to the divine, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But this hadith doesn't just teach you to humble this mind. This hadith also teaches you to access the power of your heart. So in my home method, I talk about how the heart is the rightful leader of your inner world, the psycho-spiritual system. And if you give this position of leadership to anything else, even your mind, which we pride and we really give it an unhealthy place, especially in the Western world, especially in Western psychology, we give this brain a very unhealthy place in our inner world. And because of that, we burden it more than it can bear. The mind is powerful, but it's designed to serve this greater facet of intelligence within us. So this hadith is teaching you to humble this mind, but humble it to who? To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the one who's in control. So relieving you of that internal burden, but at the same time, the dua shifts to make the Quran the spring of my heart. Now let's fuel this heart. Let's nourish this heart so that it can rise again and take back its rightful position of leader within your being, because you can only be at peace when your inner world has the right leader. Just like the solar system can only revolve around the sun. If it revolved around anything else, there would be chaos. There would be no other leader to sustain or center point to sustain the orbit of the planets. This is why I define our inner world as a system of its own, because we look at things and we study things based on systems. It's very important that we understand that this brain, this mind of ours, is the lower aql. That's what I refer to it in my home method. It's the lower aql. It is the servant of the heart, the higher aql, the higher intellect. If you make this the final destination, expect your anxieties to be higher, expect your depressive symptoms to be higher, expect all the difficulties to be higher. So this dua is a beautiful remedy for the anxious soul. It's a beautiful remedy for the heavy soul, for the heavy-hearted, for the ones who wake up feeling weighed down by the world and what's going to happen tomorrow. Anchor yourself in this dua. Realign yourself in this dua. Put your mind in its right place in dua. Remember in sujood was sujood was the biggest sign that solidified the home method for me, and it was because of the position of the heart in sujood. When we humble in sujood, it's the closest position you are to your creator, and it is in this very sacred position that as you humble your mind, this frontal part especially, the heart is higher. So this really showed me, this was actually the final sign I needed to solidify the method and to finalize it in 2014. You could learn more about the method in my book, The Compass Home. Anchor yourself in this beautiful dua, in this psychological miracle that the Prophet ﷺ taught us 1400 years ago.